This is a before and after sculpting my face. For today's video, I'm gonna dive deep into cool tone contour specifically for my skin tone. I'm gonna do some sort of makeup matchup, kind of like tournament, just to see which one is my favorite for creating shadows. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and finish my lipstick. I'm going to also just quickly explain what the differences is for a cool tone shade versus a warm tone shade on my skin. Generally speaking, cool tones will create shadows on your base, so that's what contouring is about. But again, this is very relative. This is Sephora collection in Fair to Light, and as you can see, it's quite gray on me, so this is ideal for myself to create shadows, but for some people this can actually translate warm on their skin tone. The second shade here is from Cosmetics. It's in the shade Terra. I like to use this for bronzing, which is kind of using the same shade to sculpt for all over the face. I find like red tones like this one usually kind of creates that natural effect for my skin tone. However, this one from Persona Cosmetics in the shade Dune, it's very warm. It's actually a bronzer kind of shade for me, which means I can use it on the higher parts of my face, but creating shadows most likely will be unrealistic because my shadows just don't look this warm on me. There's two ways I usually sculpt shadows on my face, and this doesn't mean that you have to do it this way. I'm just sharing how I do. Usually I use a cool tone contour, cool tone for myself, on the hollows of my cheeks or under my jaw, just natural places where you would see shadows. So I work this together with bronzer. So bronzers on the higher parts of my cheeks and on my forehead. And then contours are just usually lower, just, you know, to supplement the warmth that you have given your skin, just to create that sort of sculpt to your face. I think this is the best technique for someone that has more time and have, you know, multiple products to use on the cheeks with multiple variation on shades. I don't think this will be the best if you want something super natural, because you may end up using too much product, or, you know, just accentuating it more than your natural features will be. If it doesn't really work for you, if you don't have the time or you don't like using too much product, then I would definitely recommend bronzing. I think you really have to have a good understanding of what your tones are, because for me, I can't bronzer with yellow toned bronzers or something that's too warm, because red tones are the ones that mimic a natural tan on my skin tone. I actually have to underpaint, so I'm putting foundation over the bronzer, and if I'm using something that's too warm, too yellow, it's just going to create that unflattering warmth under my cheeks. So using a red tone ensures that everything is quite natural and seamless for my tones and my features. So now I'm super excited to find out, well, not find out because I already know, I think I already know which one I will choose, but I guess explaining why I'm choosing this product over the others. These are the products that I have, and this is the table we're basically working with. So the first is the Iconic London versus the NYX Contour Duos. This is Iconic London in medium shadow. This is the powder part. The swatch is on the last one. It's kind of warm because it is a medium shadow and have quite fair skin. And then this is the cream part, and the swatch is on the last. So again, they're kind of neutral. I don't think it's very warm for my skin tone, so I can definitely use it as shadow. And this is the NYX Contour Duo. I'm only swatching the contour part because the highlighter part is not really relevant to this video. And you can see the last color is the swatch for this one. It's actually kind of peachy. I really do enjoy both products, but I'm gonna go with Iconic on this one just because the NYX highlighter is something that I don't like. I don't like the formula. It's very chunky glitter, so I'm gonna stick with Iconic for this round. The next is Sheglam versus Fenty in the Cream Compact. So for Sheglam, it's actually a decent formula, I guess, for for the reputation that the brand has. It's very gray, so if you have very fair skin, this will actually be a perfect shadow shade for you. Now, just note that it's always the last color that's the swatch for the swatches, because I haven't ordered it perfectly, sorry. That one is a bit more matte in formula, so perfect for shadows. This is the Fenty cream compact version of amber, and it's a very comparable color, but the other one is a bit too gray, I think. This is more neutral and it has more of a dewier formula, I guess. In this round, I'm gonna go with Fenty just because I prefer cream over liquid products for sculpting my cheeks. And for the next round, it's Sephora versus Milk. So the Sephora collection is an excellent price point. The shade is very gray, so it's definitely a great shadow shade for fairer skin tones. Now, I think the formula is what gets me because it's quite dewier than what I would typically like for a shadow. I prefer it more matte, but it's an excellent choice for the budget and the shade that it has. Now, this one from Milk is something that I really don't understand why they have such bad packaging. It broke on me after like 2 months. If you can see, the shade is more neutral leaning. It's actually a really great formula, but I'm never gonna repurchase this just by the experience I have with the packaging alone. So yes, I'm gonna choose Sephora collection over Milk, also because they downsized the product for basically the same value. And then we have Fenty, the stick version, versus e.l.f., the liquid formula. I think these are both really popular contour products. I've actually repurchased this product quite a few times over the years because I think it's an excellent shadow product. Number one, it is matte, and then the shade range, it's Fenty Beauty, so you're gonna find one that's gonna suit you for your skin tone. If we're comparing it with this e.l.f. liquid formula, I don't really recommend this one, not because it's a bad formula, but because you never know if you're gonna have a bad batch. This expired on me in like 2 months, which is horrible. I'm just watching it for research purposes, but it's definitely expired. So for this round, I'm gonna go ahead with the Fenty stick. The next round is Sephora versus Missha contour powders. For Sephora collection, it's very gray, and I love that for my skin tone because that's just something that would work for me as a shadow shade. I think it's quite affordable as well. It has an excellent formula. Again, I would prefer matte over dewy or satin finish for contours just because it's a more realistic look to your dimension. And then we have this Missha. I already broke the packaging, but it's really affordable. I don't know how I feel about the packaging though, but the shade is quite nice. It's more neutral. I think there's a bit of green to this one, so it's really light and natural. You can't overdo it, but I'm gonna have to go with Sephora collection just because of packaging, I think. And for the last one in the first round, it is Uoma Beauty versus Danessa Myricks. I love this Uoma formula. I think the shade is excellent as well. And on the other end, you get a highlighter balm, which is a beautiful, beautiful product. The only thing is that it has been separated into single products, but I think they just, I don't know, like, is the brand even still here? I'm not sure how it's going with Uoma Beauty, but this one from Danessa Myricks, it's also one of my favorite products of all time. This is their contour balm. I love the fair shade. I'm not going to include light one. I mean, it's technically a contour balm, but it's very warm, so I just used that as a bronzer. The fair shade though, it's an excellent neutral to cool leaning shade depending on your skin tone, so I'm gonna have to go with Danessa just because I don't know if Uoma even still exists. So with Iconic versus Fenty Cream Compact, Iconic is pretty versatile. I think it's a more neutral shade as well, while the Fenty one is very cool tone and it's just too dewy for me. So I think I'm definitely going with Iconic Beauty for this round. And for Fenty Stick versus the Sephora Powder, I think they're both lovely matte formulas, but Fenty is definitely more useful when you have a cream or a liquid base rather than the powder. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Fenty Beauty on this one as well. Perfect. And then the last one is Sephora stick versus the Danessa Myricks balm. I love both formulas. It's actually very similar to each other because they're both dewy, they're both neutral to cool leaning. I think Sephora is a bit more gray. Danessa reminds me so much of Tom Ford though, so I'm gonna have to go with Danessa Myricks on this one. I love that formula. And within this three, guys, I think I'm gonna have to go with the more versatile one, the two formulas. I'm gonna have to go with Iconic Beauty. I don't even know if it's still in Sephora, but I love this product so much. I'm definitely gonna try to find one in the future because I think I've already hit pan on the cream. I'm gonna hit pan on the powder soon. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what your favorite contour shades are for your skin tone, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!